Welcome back to the Carpet Stacker, a review series of board and card games. In this video we will look at the mega expansion for Sentinels of the Multiverse, Vengeance. In the box, you get 5 new hero decks, which I will briefly go over later, 2 environment decks, and 5 Vengeance villain decks. Setup for Vengeance adds one different thing from a normal game. In a 5-player game, each player picks a hero and places them the same manner you usually do, but leave a little space in between for the villains. Now with the villains, place their deck and character card between each hero, with Baron Blade as the suggested first villain. Once you've done that, you're ready to play, right? Just don't forget the environment. Your object for victory is defeating all the villains by accumulating enough damage to make them incapacitated. On the contrary, if all the player heroes are incapacitated, then that's game over for the players. After an initial setup, you need to follow each villain's setup text. The game begins with the first villain, then with the first hero, then the second villain will go, and etc. When the last hero has completed his or her turn, the next environment card is played, then the turn cycle is repeated with the first villain. On each villain's front side of their card shows their HP, the setup, what they do on their turn, the optional advance mode, and nemesis symbol. On the villain's backside shows their incapacitated side. The villains flip to show once they are incapacitated, and like the heroes, has an incapacitated effect. Now I'd like to show you a brief look at some of the cards. Knife is about dealing damage. Her cards may not aid the heroes much or get around villains, but she packs a punch. Parse is the opposite of Knife. She may not do a lot of damage, but she is able to figure out ways to find a villain's weakness. With that, she is a very strong support character. The Naturalist is a well-rounded hero. He's able to shift into one of 3 animals. Depending on his current form, he can do massive damage as a crocodile, be defensive as a rhino, or swift as a gazelle. Also, the form that he is in may give him an extra bonus on certain cards. Setback is one of the more interesting heroes. He takes chances by manipulating his luck. As he plays cards, he will accumulate unlucky tokens. Sometimes, having some isn't good, but he can really flip things around if he's lucky. The Sentinels are made of a team of smaller heroes, and you play them as one. While weak on their own, keeping the team in good shape will allow them to be at their optimal strength. Also, they are one of the few heroes that can be revived. The Vengeful 5 are Baron Blade, Fright Train, Friction, Ermine, and Proletariat. They are harder than most of the other villains. I can show you what they could do, but I don't want to spoil anything. Starting off with the box, it's bigger. Yippee! This expansion will add a bit more cards than the other previous expansions, so the room is needed, and it's designed with a pocket to hold all the tokens and the oversized cards. If you have the game already with expansion and promos, your base box may be full, and the entire game will fit in 2 of these boxes. The rulebook briefly goes through some of the new rules found in the game, and yes, it's still in Comic Sans, and the cards are the same quality you'll find with any of the other graded in-game games. As for the pros of gameplay, Vengeance adds 5 very creative and interesting new heroes, 1 tough villain battle, and 2 cool but contrasting environments. Unfortunately, the game's main and only feature is the Vengeance 5 itself. It feels that it provides only one way to play, and it might be hard to beat if you don't know what you're doing. With the maximum group of players, it will increase the amount of time to play, and adding more cards means that it will be harder to keep track of which cards is going on, and the game itself will take much more space. The villain group here, I feel, is just a one-trick pony. It really feels like if there is one boss we're fighting against. What I mean here is that the whole villain team plays like one regular villain with a new set of rules. Yes, with a smaller amount of players, there could be variety, but I play most of the Sentinels game with a full array of 5 people anyway. In the games we play, a 5-villain battle could range from a very long dismal defeat or a also very long victory. I don't know if Baron Blade will recruit more villains, but perhaps this could be an idea for future expansions. I always liked Sentinels for its variety, but Vengeance falls a little short. I probably won't play with the Vengeful 5 all the time. But the heroes are what made this expansion exciting. What Greater Than Games is good at is that they are great at crafting hero decks that feel like you're playing that hero. My favorite hero in this expansion has to be Setback, since he has one of the best thematically executed playing styles. I love that he's able to take his chances and flip his luck around. Surely you can pick this game up and play right out of the box without the base, but where's the fun if you don't have the hero selection to select from? So, going to my final thoughts. I don't regret this purchase at all because the design of the hero decks are just the best. If you love Sentinels, then get this expansion. And be ready for a tough battle. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and visit our Facebook page. Comment below and tell me which of the Vengence 5 heroes and villains is your favorite. This has been the Carpet Stacker, and continue to save the multiverse. In the beginning of a single beat or turn, each player secretly selects a base and a style card. Before revealing their card, all of their opponent's animals gets to give the losing players their played cards and the losers as well back to their hand. Also,